companion legislation in the House. I want to thank them and commend them for their work. And what this bill would simply do, it's very simple. It would not require, but it would permit a prosecutor to impanel a second jury when a sentence is not unanimous. And this is modeled after laws in other states. California and Arizona have this law, for instance. It is fully constitutional, and I think it is a common sense measure to make sure that there will be a penalty paid for someone who murders one of our corrections officers.
The system appears to lend itself more heavily to the rights and the protection of those who commit the crime, as opposed to having too much concern about those who. And as Senator pointed out, the outcome was exactly what was talked about. One person went against it. I have a problem with that as the father of this murdered officer. Number one, I believe the sentence did not really send the proper message to him or to other people in the prison system. To receive the death penalty, to me, I believe needed to happen just for him to understand the gravity of what he did. This was the second human being who he murdered. And somehow he needed to get a message of the severity of that. And I don't believe a sentence of life when he's already doing one even came close. So I don't think it was fair. Number two, we would have liked to see some justice. The justice we got because of this sentence was that the man who brutally murdered and mutilated my son now became a hero throughout the entire system, because that resonated throughout the entire prison system, and he was elevated to quite a high role. So he was well rewarded, not only with his life, but with his reputation for what he did. Third, it's very clearly understood by the inmates of all of the prisons that if you kill an officer, it's very likely not to result in too much if you're doing life. So what we've successfully done with this sentence is to go ahead and paint a target on all the backs of these folks back here. And I have a problem with that. So there's more to it than just a sentence. You know, there are other people affected here. When it comes to Eric's Law, you know, I'm not looking for revenge. Putting down this prisoner, I never from the beginning thought that the federal government would ever get to a point of actually executing him. What I wanted them to understand was that there needs to be a fairness. And that's what I'm hoping with this law, that there's some understanding that when people that are victims of crimes, victims of murder, walk into a courtroom, that at least we have a fair shake in the trial, that it's not all bent in kind of a one-directional thing, that victims are considered here as well as the person who committed the crime.